This is another limited edition heavy haulage model from WSI Models. It's a model of a Volvo FH4 with a lifting crane, and it comes from Finland. Finland is a country which, when you look at it on the map, isn't really thin, it's actually quite wide. The truck is in the colours of the Finnish company Kari Polvela. Oi! Out of the box we've got the model, we've got a small brochure for the loader crane, and a bag with a few parts. Oi! In case you weren't paying attention, this is the small brochure that covers the operation of the Palfinger loader crane, and it's the usual generic manual that we've seen a few times before. Okay, so the only assembly to do is to fit the lifting beam on its holder. It's not my fault if there's not much assembly to do. As you would expect from a WSI model, the chassis is very detailed with most of the parts modelled in metal, and it all looks convincing. The Volvo cab looks great with its intricate mesh grille at the front, and the truck looks very attractive in the colours of Kari Polvela. Oi! The rigid flatbed deck has the nice replica inlaid timbers. The rear end looks fairly simple and the wheels are good, but one not so good aspect is the rear outriggers, which can't be retracted fully. The detailing of the Palfinger loader crane is enhanced by lots of tiny detailed graphics, and the telescopic sections look good with each section having a piston. Once again we start underneath and the rear wheels are joined on common axles, and there's intricate linked steering with the rear axle and the front axles, but the range of movement is very small. Rolling along in a straight line the Volvo does quite well, but let's give it a try with what little steering we can achieve. If we force the wheels as much as we can, you get a bit of a steering angle, and then you can steer an angle which is probably best described as not straight. Let's move along and flip open the cab, and then we can get a clear view of the Volvo branded engine. The flatbed truck does provide a variety of loading options, and one of them is to fit some container locks, and then we can load on a 20-foot container. This locking system works well because the container is stopped from sliding about on the deck. Or maybe you prefer hard steel posts. Plenty are supplied and they're a reasonable fit into the holes in the deck. So let's now try putting a load on the deck. And here we have the brand new design of crumple-proof truck mixers. They can't be damaged on site or in a traffic accident, and they look just great. Anyway, enough of this squeezy nonsense. Let's put up the loader crane. If the standard loader crane doesn't offer enough, there's an optional fly jib that you can add on. It's got its own hydraulic rams to set the angle, and it's got a number of telescopic sections, so it adds a worthwhile amount of extra lift height. To fit it, we remove the last section of the loader crane, and then effectively just replace it with the fly jib. It slides in, and then you just connect up the piston. Once you've done that, you can then angle the fly jib whichever way you want. With the fly jib attached, you get a very impressive looking loader crane. Oi! Time for a genuine imitation real-life test. And for this test we're going to use the giant hand cranes to control the loader cranes to lift on a giant vessel. Only on Cranes Etc. can you see such realistic simulations. As you can see, this is another very nice looking heavy haulage truck from WSI Models. The overall functionality is very good, with just the rear outriggers needing a fix so they pose properly during transport. The level of detailing is of a high standard. Oi! Overall, this model is very good.